How can I cover up streaky fake tan?
Simplest method is really to get yourself a liquid compact foundation. That almost looks like a pressed powder, comes in that kind of packaging, but in fact it's a foundation that's quite thick, but when you apply it with a brush over the face and neck and any part of the body that may need a little bit of evening out, you should get a wonderful even finish without feeling heavily made up.
How can I avoid feathered lipstick?
To avoid feathery lipstick, all you need to do is really prime the lip edge first with a little bit of foundation primer, then put on a little bit of foundation or concealer around the edge, and then a little bit of loose powder. Those three things together will really help lock in the lipstick or the pencil from bleeding and creeping into fine lines and wrinkles. You'll be fine.
I've overdone the blusher. What should I do?
Well, the easiest thing really is to load up either a cotton wool ball or a powder puff or a blusher brush, dip it in loose powder and apply to the over-blushed area. That will immediately tone down the blusher. What you must remember is not to use anything like water or cleanser or makeup wipe or anything like that, because that will completely make a mess. Work with what you've got, but tone it down with loose powder.
I have a foundation tide mark. What should I do?
The simplest thing to do really is to turn on the tap, put your fingers under a slightly running tap, and then just really, with slightly damp fingers, blend away any hard line or tide mark. Alternatively, use a little moisturizer straight onto the area and blend down the neck so it disappears.
How can I cover under eye bags?
All you have to do really is to find a concealer that's the right colour and is specifically designed for going under the eye area. Apply the product using a finger or brush to the very darkest area of the eye, and then with your middle finger, tap and blend. Now, if you apply too much and you kind of get a panda eye, sweep a clean dry cotton bud around the area just to remove the excess. If you feel that you still haven't done the job enough, go back and repeat it till you build up enough coverage so any darkness or puffiness or whatever it is that needs covering up has gone. You're good.
How can I stop my eyeshadow from creasing?
To stop your eyeshadow from creasing, all you need to do is skip heavy eye lotions, eye moisturizing balms, anything like that. Choose oil-free foundation, choose a very light moisturizer lotion, apply it to the eyelid and make sure that your eyeshadow is either wet to dry or cream to powder formula. Anything greasy or a little bit too glittery or shiny will absolutely go into the creases. But everybody has kind of natural oils, so if you are somebody who has naturally oily eyelids, there's very little you can do. But if the problem stems from foundation or too much concealer or moisturizer on the lid, cut that back and that should really help your eye makeup to last longer. Skip eye lotions, eye balms, eye moisturizers, which can eat away at the makeup throughout the day. Alternatively, use wet to dry eyeshadows or anything that isn't greasy at all.
How can I conceal thread veins?
Use a cream compact foundation. A cream compact literally is almost like a concealer but not. It's a foundation but slightly covering. You apply it with a brush and very simply just go over the area. It will be disguised immediately. Little red veins, thread veins, whatever you want to call them, are so easy to get rid of. There's nothing simpler, and just a little bit of a compact foundation will absolutely do the trick.
How can I rejuvenate a hungover face?
Use a tinted moisturizer and use one that really complements your skin. If you're looking a little bit sallow, if you're looking a little bit grey or yellow, use a colour that either has a little bit of pink or a little bit of peach in it, and make sure it's also a little bit shimmery. The shimmeriness will actually make your skin look like it's drunk 6 pints of water, so your skin will glow and look absolutely beautiful. The next thing you want to do, of course, is to make your eyes look brighter, because most girls have quite red eyes if they're not looking too fabulous. Over-the-counter eye drops, absolutely fine. Just use them once. That's absolutely good. Next thing is to use a little bit of beige pencil inside the inner lower eye rim. Now, there are some white pencils around, but that can look a little bit too stark, a little bit too white, as if you're using Tipp-Ex or something. So choose a pencil that has a little bit of beige in it. It's a lot kinder and will really knock that red line on the head so you don't look like Dracula. I just got to say, though, that going back to the point about the eye drops, try to use eye drops every day that are actually pH the same as your tears, because in that way you won't get addicted to them. They'll nourish and they'll moisturize your eyes without that horrible buffer acid that you get in the larger bottles, which can just make you addicted to them.
How can I stop getting lipstick on my teeth?
If you've overused the lipstick, and it will look pretty obvious because it will come off on your teeth, all you need to do is literally just put your finger in your mouth and then just drag your finger. Any excess lipstick will be around your finger and you won't have any problems.
How can I stop my foundation coming off my shirt?
Simply don't take the foundation that low. Make sure your foundation is the right colour so it matches your skin tone. That means it should match and complement your face and your neck. So if you're taking your foundation all the way down there and it's coming off on your collar, probably means that your foundation is too dark. So apply most of the foundation and then gently blend so it goes to nothing. That way, no makeup will ever come off on your collar ever again.
How can I stop my lipstick coming off when I kiss?
I think the most important thing here is to make sure that you use a formula that's not too glossy, too moisturizing, too sheeny, too high beam if you like. Find a long-lasting formula of lipstick that's almost matte so that your lips look coloured but it's almost like a stain. That way you can kiss as long as you like and the colour will stay perfect.
How can I avoid panda eyes?
Make sure that your concealer is complementing the rest of your face. Don't, whatever you do, get a concealer that's too pale, too light compared to the rest of your face or the foundation that you put over the rest of your face. It's really important that your concealer completely matches your foundation. You can go a tad shade lighter, but don't go 2 or 3 shades lighter than your foundation because you will end up having panda eyes.
How can I cover red blotches on my skin?
What I would do is put foundation over the whole area and then zone into the area that needs a little bit more attention. But if the skin is a little bit dry, make sure that the concealer is quite wet and moisturizing, because if it's too thick, it will enhance the dryness. So you'll be getting rid of the red, but it'll look like you're quite dry. What you don't want to do, or what I personally find quite hard to do, is to use a green color corrector. In my experience, when you put those on first, and then you lay a foundation or concealer on top, the green kind of blends a little bit into the foundation and you end up worse because you get this kind of grey, horrible colour. So it's quite difficult to do, but practice and apply the makeup in good, even daylight so you can really see what you're doing.
How can I cover freckles?
Covering freckles is quite difficult without looking like you're wearing a huge makeup mask. But if you do want to cover them, then you almost have to buy a foundation or concealer that covers birthmarks, tattoos, scars, anything like that, because the pigment within freckles is actually quite hard to cover just using a sheer foundation or a concealer. In my experience, the freckles are never covered using those 2 products. What I do find that works is a heavy-duty foundation, as I say, that is almost a medical one that you would give to somebody that's has had burns or wants to cover, thread veins or something like that.
How can I emphasize my freckles?
You can use either a beigey brown lip pencil, or you can use a brown eyeliner pencil, and you literally just dot over the area that you want to enhance a little bit more. It looks so cute. I love doing that trick.
How can I completely cover a spot?
To cover a spot absolutely so nobody can see it, it's really simple. All you need to do is apply the concealer to the area and then blend out with your finger, just tapping as you do. If you use a wiping motion, you'll remove what you're putting on. So a light tapping motion with the middle finger just blends. If you're looking in the mirror and you still see that the spot is still showing up nice and shiny, dip a very fine, almost like a thin eyeliner brush, into a thick concealer and apply it to the center, and then just stipple, using the brush, stipple over the area until it's hidden. If you go around the good skin and you can see that you've got concealer on an area where it doesn't need to be, take a damp cotton bud or a cotton bud with a little moisturizer and just wipe away the excess. Then what you want to do is dip a small brush or a powder puff onto some loose powder and then, bam, hide and lock in the concealer so it ain't going to budge. That's really good. What some people will find also is that if they've been picking their spot and the skin's a little bit raw and makeup isn't sticking to it and they want to cover it, what you want to do is take a little bit of powder first onto the area to de-shine. That will give something for the concealer to grip to. So you apply the concealer and then a little bit of powder on top, and that'll be fine.
How can I stop my hand shaking when I'm applying makeup?
All you need to do is really rest your arm, your elbow on something just to steady yourself, and then you can apply eyeliner, lipstick, blush or whatever, no problem.